boycott solutions. Add-on desires.
Hello students, I am Saroja from Addod Solutions. Today we are going to discuss about inter first year history chapter 12 Indian National Movement. So in this chapter we are going to learn about three important movements which occurred as part of Indian National Movement, that is Vande Mataram movement and next non-cooperation movement as well as civil disobedience movement. So let us go to the first topic of our chapter, that is the significance of Vande Mataram movement in Indian National Movement. So Vande Mataram movement, it was the first movement which was done as part of Indian National Movement. It was the landmark in the history of Indian National Movement. Let us go through the causes. What are the reasons for the Vande Mataram movement? So the first one is cause of the movement, partition of Bengal. Done by Lord Curzon in 1905. Here the partition of Bengal by Lord Curzon in 1905, it shows the divide and rule policy of the Britishers which they have implemented to get their authority, to maintain their authority in India. As part of this partition of Bengal, they have divided Bengal into two provinces, East Bengal as well as the West Bengal. According to the Britishers, they have divided this for the sake of administrative convenience, because the Bengal is the biggest region and it is difficult for them to rule over and to maintain administrative reforms in that particular place. But the real intention of the Britishers was to create a split between Hindu as well as the Muslims, because Bengal is the place where the national awakening has taken place among the Indians. The social reformers have taken place in Bengal only, and not only that, even the national movement, the national leaders have raised their voice from Bengal only. So that's why, in order to break that awakening from the people, they started partition of Bengal based on East Bengal as well as the West Bengal. East Bengal was decided by the Muslims, but whereas West Bengal was decided by the Hindus. So this was the reason for the starting of Vande Mataram movement. So here, as part of the movement, when this partition of Bengal was declared by Lord Curzon, that day was October 16th was made as the day of mourning by the people of Bengal. First it was confined to the Bengal only under the leadership of moderates, but whereas when the extremist Lal Bal Pal came into the field, then it has started spreading over all over the country. Okay, so these people on the day October 16th, they have taken bath in Ganga, river Ganga, and they have done fasting on that day. And not only that, the people, they came onto the roads and started tying Rakhis, especially Hindus and Muslims, to show their unity to the Britishers. So this was done as part of the movement on that day. And not only that, here they started burning all the foreign clothes. They have refused to wear the foreign clothes and they refused to use and boycotted even the schools, colleges and the law courts which were run by the Britishers. Boycott of the foreign goods were done by those people in those days. Not only that, as part of this movement, Swadeshi movement was also started. Swadeshi movement means they wants to develop self-respect, self-reliance as well as the self-confidence among the people by supporting our own goods, our own education system, our own law courts, by boycotting the Britishers. And this was taken over by extremists throughout the country, like Lokamanya Balagangadhar Tilak. He has extended this movement to Bombay and Pune. And after that, Ajit Singh and Lala Lajpat Rai, they spread over the movement in Punjab and northern parts of India. And Syed Haider Raza, he has done this movement in Delhi. And Chidambaram Pillai, Madras Presidency, later it was taken over by Bipin Chandrapal. As part of this movement, Bipin Chandrapal has toured all over the country, especially to South India, and he has started the national colleges at the place of Machilipatnam as well as in Kolkata also, and he has given the lecture tours and awakened the people towards the movement, Bipin Chandrapal. So, as the consequences of the movement here, they have toured the country and established our own schools and colleges, especially national colleges were started in various places. And not only that, our own industries were established throughout the country. And here example, matchbox industry, soap industry, and our own textiles were started. And not only that, in some areas ship making industry, iron industries were also established. Some patriotic youth, they went to other countries, especially to Japan. They learnt the technical aspects from those countries. They came to India and they established various industries in our country. All these they have done for the sake of patriotic spirit only, but not for the sake of profit motive. So all this we can observe as part of the movement in those days. And next important thing was consequences of the movement. When it comes to the consequences of movement, finally the Britishers, they have cancelled the partition of Bengal, and in order to suppress the awakening of the partition of the Bengalis, they have shifted the capital from Kolkata to Delhi in 1911. So this was the major incident occurred after Vande Matra movement as well as Swadeshi movements also. And because of the Swadeshi movement, Indians are able to learn self-reliance, self-confidence also. And next, about this movement, Gandhiji has said, the real awakening of India has started from the day of partition of Bengal, and this can be notable that considered as the partition of British Empire also. This was the famous sayings said by Gandhiji regarding this movement. So we can say that this was the first real awakening movement in India which was done because of partition of Bengal. So this is about Vande Matra movement as well as Swadeshi movement. So let us go to the next topic. Our next topic is about non-cooperation movement. So this was the first movement which was started by Gandhiji throughout the country. Before that he has done Champaran movement, Kheda Satyagraha, all that. But a nationwide movement was started by Gandhiji with this non-cooperation movement in the year of 1920. So let us go to the causes. What are the reasons for non-cooperation movement? First of all, here in 1919, the British government has introduced Rasool Act. And this Rasool Act, it is against the fundamental rights of the Indian citizens. So against this act, the people have started making movements in a peaceful manner, and they have done the satyagrahas and all. So because of these movements against the Rasool Act, one Jallianwala Bagh massacre, this was the tragedy, and we can say black hole tragedy, this was done during the time of Indian national movement, Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So many people died in this massacre, and this General O'Dwyer was responsible for that. And British Empire, British government, instead of giving punishment to General Dyer for killing a mass number of people who are doing this satyagraha protest movement in a peaceful manner, instead of punishing him, he was rewarded by the British Parliament. So because of that reason, Gandhiji and other Congress leaders, they felt unhappy with the acts of the British government, and Gandhiji thought that non-cooperation movement in a peaceful manner is the only weapon to fight against the Britishers. So he has started this non-cooperation movement in the year of 1920. In the year of 1920, non-cooperation movement was started. As part of the movement, first thing was boycott of the institutions, and next councils, that means whatever legal councils are there, they were boycotted by the Indians. And they started non-cooperating to the government offices, stopped paying the taxes to the government, boycott of the schools, colleges as well as the law courts were done, boycott of the elections were also done. Not only that, even Indians have boycotted the tour of Prince of Wales to India. So these are some of the course of the movement, boycott movements, and they have taken the constructive programs also. As part of the constructive programs, they have started our own national educational institutions. National educational policy was also started, and various institutions like Kasi Vidyapit, Bihar Vidyapit, Jama Millia at Delhi, all these were started as part of constructive programs. And next, eradication of untouchability. And the next important one was prohibition of liquor was also taken as part of non-cooperation movement. And Hindu-Muslim unity. Gandhiji wants to promote Hindu-Muslim unity as part of non-cooperation movement. And one more important thing was they wants to raise funds to the Tilak Swaraj Fund. So these are the constructive programs which were undertaken as part of the non-cooperation movement. Various other incidents also occurred as part of this movement. That was parallel legal council was started in Vijayawada. Not only that, in various places like Faizabad, Awadh and Mirzapur, in these places, Midnapur, in these places, farmers stopped paying taxes to the government. Not only by the educated people, even the Adivasis in Chota Nagpur, they stopped paying Chaukidari tax to the British government. And not only that, here in Punjab also, the Akali movement was started against the corruption which is going on in maintenance of the Gurudwaras. So as part of the movement, all these incidents were undertaken. Various colleges were started, educational institutions were started, and most probably the cotton textile industry, that means Indian cotton, was given encouragement because Gandhiji himself started Charaka. By taking Charaka activities, he wants to promote Indian textile industry. So as part of non-cooperation movement, all these were undertaken. And when it was going on in a successful manner, because of one incident, one violent incident which was occurred in Chauri Chaura in Uttar Pradesh, Gandhiji has cancelled, gave a call off to the movement. In a place called Chauri Chaura, the peasants, when they are peacefully going on their movement, they have attacked by the police. So at that moment, these people, they have made a movement, they have made an attack on the police station, they burned the police station, and 20 people, policemen were dead in that bad incident. Gandhiji wants to do the movement in a non-violent manner, but when it has taken a violent mode, Gandhiji has given a call off to the non-cooperation movement. So with that, in 1922, the non-cooperation movement came to an end. But whereas it has awakened the people, and most people people from all the parts of India, not only from one place, even the tribals also started taking part in the movement. Even the peasants, tenant farmers, everybody has become the part of this movement. So this is about non-cooperation movement. Let us go to the next topic. So our next topic is about civil disobedience movement or Salt Satyagraha, which was done by, this was the second national movement which was done by Mahatma Gandhi in the year of 1930. So let us go through the conditions as well as causes for the civil disobedience movement or Salt Satyagraha. Britishers started taking taxes from the people on all goods, especially on the salt also. Salt can be prepared easily as we have surrounded by the seas as well as the oceans, and it is less cost. But whereas Britishers started collecting taxes on this salt also. So Gandhiji wants to deny these salt taxes, first thing. And the second thing was in 1929 Lahore session, Indian National Congress at Lahore session in the month of December, they have taken some decisions that Purna Swaraj was the aim of Indian National Congress, and they wants to achieve that. And next important thing was they wants to observe January 26th as the Independence Day. Not only that, even Gandhiji, he has given some 11 points to Irwin in order to solve the problems. But whereas when there is no response from Lord Irwin, the Viceroy of India, then Gandhiji has given a call to civil disobedience movement, that is Salt Satyagraha. The Salt Satyagraha was started on March 12th. Gandhiji, he has started his march from his ashramam, that is Sabarmati ashram, to the Dandi. Dandi is the coastal village which is situated in Gujarat. So on March 12th he has started his movement, and April 6th he has reached Dandi. April 6th he has reached Dandi, and by going there he has taken the salt into his hands. With that he has violated the salt laws, and he started the Salt Satyagraha or Dandi March, and which is also known as civil disobedience movement. Civil disobedience movement means not accepting the British rules and regulations by the people. So here, as part of the movement, when Gandhiji has broken the salt laws, on that day many people, they move towards the coastal regions, and they have taken the salt into their hands, and they started the violation of the salt laws in that way. And the notable incidents under this movement are, many women have taken part in the civil disobedience movement. Nearly 1600 women were imprisoned as part of the movement. Sarojini Naidu, Durgabai Deshmukh, Kamala Nehru, these people, they have played a key role as part of the civil disobedience movement or Salt Satyagraha. And not only that, at Mumbai, Bombay, Darshan salt depot was there. On that depot, the Satyagrahis were made a revolt, and in several places like Awadh, Midnapur, and in some areas of Karnataka, the farmers stopped paying the taxes to the British government. And not only that, here Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, he was called as the Frontier Gandhi. Frontier Gandhi, he was called as, that is Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. He was arrested for participating in civil disobedience movement. So when he was arrested, his followers are called as Khudai Khidmatkars. Khudai Khidmatgars, they are also called as servants of God. So they made a movement in that area. And next important movement which occurred was at the place called Garhewal. The two rifles, Indian platoons army, they refused to fight or to open the fire on the Satyagrahis. So these are the notable movements which occurred as part of civil disobedience movement. And the movement came to an end with Gandhi-Irwin Pact in 1931. 1931, Gandhiji as well as the Viceroy Irwin, there was agreement done between these two people, and according to this, the British government accepted to release the prisoners, political prisoners from the prisons. So with that, this civil disobedience movement came to an end in the year of 1931. But it was the mass movement, and many, even women also participated in this movement, and even the village people also have participated in a large manner in civil disobedience movement. So this is next. Let us go to the next topic. Our next topic is about Home Rule movement. Home Rule movement, this was the prestigious movement because in our Indian national movement, not only the Indians, even the Europeans also have taken a good part. Not only good part, they have led some movements. Example was Home Rule movement, which was done by Mrs. Anne Besant. Anne Besant, she was an Irish lady. She came to India as the member of Theosophical Society. But after coming to India, she has gone through the problems faced by the people under Britishers' rule. So she wants to awaken the people, enlighten the people against the British rule. So that's why along with Bal Gangadhar Tilak, she has started this Home Rule movement. And Home Rule movement was making Indians to rule on their own. This was the main aim of Home Rule movement. Indians should rule their own country. And this Home Rule movement, this was done in a peaceful manner, and this was done by Tilak in Maharashtra, and whereas Maharashtra and Pune, and Mrs. Anne Besant, she has done in Madras as well as Adyar. As part of this movement, they have toured different places of the country and they have established the schools as well as some libraries and all. They started awakening the people by giving lectures as well as by distributing pamphlets and through motivational speeches. This was the main aim. They have done this in a peaceful manner. And the significance movement was even the cooperation was there between Hindu and Muslims also in this movement. Not only that, many moderate congressmen was also taken part in the Home Rule movement. They did not ask for complete independence, but the main aim of Home Rule movement was to awaken the people to make them self-reliant and march towards the self-rule in India. So this was the main aim of Home Rule movement, which was done in the year of 1916, but it went on for only 2 years, and in 1918 this Home Rule movement came to an end. Let us go to the next topic. So our next topic is about Jallianwala Bagh tragedy. This was the black incident which occurred in the history of national movement. And let us go through the reasons for Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Here in 1919, Rasool Act. Rasool Act was done by the Britishers. As part of this Rasool Act, Indians' fundamental rights were curbed, and they can arrest Indians without any reason, without any arrest warrant, and they can give an imprisonment also without any trials. So this was the main theme of Rasool Act. So against to this act, this people, they started making movements. Even Gandhiji gave a call to make a nationwide movement in a peaceful manner, in a Satyagraha way. So here these people in Punjab, the people, they have gathered at the place called Jallianwala Bagh on April 13th, 1919. 1919. So these people, they have gathered in a place called Jallianwala Bagh and they started their movement. And here General Dyer, he entered into the place, and all of the sudden he has opened the fire on the people without giving any warning, and there is no chance to escape from that area also. So in that, mass killing of the people died, especially the innocent people lost their lives in this tragedy. And here, because of this reason, many people, Indians, they gave up their titles. Like Mahatma Gandhi has given up Kaiser-e-Hind title, which was given by the Britishers as protest to this incident. And Rabindranath Tagore, he has given up his knighthood, which was given by the Britishers after this movement. And in order to probe this incident, Hunter Commission was appointed by the British government, and Hunter Commission said only few people, some hundreds of people only died as part of this massacre. And Indian government, they are not having confidence on British government, so that's why they have appointed their own commission. And according to the Indian commission, some 1200 members, they lost their lives in as part of Jallianwala Bagh massacre, and so many have injured. So this was, and for this sake, General O. Dyer was honored by the British Parliament, which made our Indian leaders anger, and for this sake they have started non-cooperation movement in the year of 1920. So this is about Jallianwala Bagh massacre, which we can call it as the black tragedy in our Indian national movement. Okay, our next topic is about moderates. So in the year of 1885, Indian National Congress was started by Allan Octavian Hume, and here we can divide the Indian National Congress into three phases. One is moderates phase, second one is extremist phase, and the third one is Gandhian era. So first of all, let us go through the moderate phase, and the famous moderates were Gopalakrishna Gokhale, Surendranath Banerjee, W.C. Banerjee, Dadabhai Nauroji, Madan Mohan Malviya. These are the famous moderates, and these people, they want to go through the method of triple P. Triple P means petition, prayer and protest. petition and protest. They want to become part of Indian government so that we can satisfy our needs also. Always they asked the British government to pass the resolutions for the sake of Indians, and here they have started their movement in a peaceful manner, and mostly they have become success in awakening the people about the drain of wealth done by the Britishers. Dadabhai Nauroji has written so many books. In his books he has raised a topic, that is drain of wealth theory. According to this drain of wealth theory, he has mentioned how the Indian wealth was taken away by the Britishers in the form of raw materials as well as in the form of finished goods to India. So he has given a clear description. Not only that, he asked the Britishers to help the Indians for the proper utilization of the resources also. So in this way he wants to awaken the people. At the same time, he wants the Britishers to help the Indians to improve their resources and get wealth also. That means here they want to fight for the sake of Indians in a peaceful manner, and not only that, he wants to give proper positions to Indians in administration also. But their method was in a peaceful manner, which was not much successful before the Britishers. So this is about moderate phase. And next to go to the extremists. So extremists, we can say three important people, that is Lal Bal Pal. Lal Bal Pal means Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak as well as Bipin Chandra Pal. And here these are called as extremist trio, and they were against to the petition, prayer, protest method of the moderates. If we keep on begging Britishers to do this one, to do that one, we are not able to get anything. So in order to get things done, we have to make a movement in a non-violent manner or violent manner, but we have to show our anger to the Britishers. That was the main aim of the extremists. As part of this extremists, the famous movement done was Vande Mataram movement as well as the Swadeshi movement. Moderates, they want to confine the movement to Bengal itself, but whereas these people Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Bipin Chandra Pal, they have taken the movement throughout the India. And not only that, they are able to mobilize the masses towards the movement, and they have promoted the national education, established various industries in India, and not only that, they have given self-reliant, self-confidence. They have developed self-reliance as well as the self-confidence among the people by starting this Swadeshi movement. So this was the famous phase in Indian national movement as the real awakening of the people, and mobilizing the masses were also done. And not only that, even Indian industries were encouraged, cottage industries were encouraged, Indian education system was encouraged. So we can say this is the good period in and awakening period in Indian national movement. Our next topic is about Kheda Satyagraha. So Kheda, this is the place in Gujarat. In Kheda, the Britishers, they started collecting high taxes, not only in one part of India, but throughout India they started collecting high taxes. But in Kheda, even though the yield of the peasants was decreased more than 25%, less than 25%, the Britishers started collecting the taxes in the same manner, high taxes only. So against to this tax collection of the Britishers, the peasants in Kheda, they started making movement. So this was supported by Mahatma Gandhi along with Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So when Gandhiji has joined this movement, and he has made this movement in a peaceful manner, in non-violent manner as well as in Satyagraha way, the British government has come down and they have reduced the taxes on the peasants. So this was the great success of Mahatma Gandhi before he entered into the Indian politics. Okay, and this is our next topic is about Rasool Act. This was the notable act which was done by the Britishers in order to curb the fundamental rights of the Indian citizens. And this act was passed in the year of 1919. According to this act, the Indians can be arrested without any arrest warrant, and their properties can be confiscated. That means that properties can be taken away by the government, and Indians can be detained, imprisoned. Detained means imprisoned for more less 2 years, minimum 2 years without any trial. Without any trial means without any court proceedings and all, Indians can be imprisoned for 10 years. So this was the major concepts of Rowlatt Act, which are curbing the fundamental rights of Indian citizens. So here, as when this Rowlatt Act was passed by the British government, throughout India the movements were done, and this was led by Gandhiji. We can say that this was the act by which Gandhiji has entered into the Indian national politics, because he gave a call for Satyagraha throughout the country. As part of this only, many people, they have started making movement throughout the country, and not only that, the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, that was also occurred because of this Rowlatt Act Satyagrahas only. And when Jallianwala Bagh massacre occurred, soon after Gandhiji entered into the national politics and gave a call for non-cooperation movement. This, as part of non-cooperation movement, many things were done, and not only that, Hindu-Muslim unity was also brought as part of non-cooperation movement. So this is about Rowlatt Act, which has curbed the fundamental rights of the Indian citizens by the British government. Our next topic is about Simon Commission. Simon Commission, this was appointed by British government in order to go through the reforms of 1919 Montague-Chelmsford reforms, and not only that, to test whether Indians are fit for self-rule or not. Here, this Simon Commission, they came to India. It was the 7-member committee, and this was called as the White Men Committee because there was no Indian in this committee. All the 7 members are Britishers only. They came to India in order to test whether Indians are able to do self-rule or not. But unfortunately, there was no Indian in that commission. So because of this reason, this commission was boycotted in our country everywhere. Wherever the Simon has reached, went, toured, then the people, they have welcomed Simon with black badges as well as the black flags, saying that Simon go back. And as part of this Simon Commission tour only, Lala Lajpat Rai was severely bet in Lahore, and because of, in Allahabad, Lala Lajpat Rai was severely bet in Allahabad, and because of that reason he fell ill and died. And this made Bhagat Singh to kill Sanders, which was responsible for that. And one more important incident occurred in Madras, that is because of Tangutur Prakasam. He was brave enough to fight against the Britishers as part of this Simon Commission. So this is about Simon Commission, which was called as White Man Commission, and because of that reason only we lost our one freedom fighter, that is Lala Lajpat Rai. This is about Simon Commission. And our next topic is about Puna Pact as well as Communal Award. Here, Communal Award, this was given by Ramsay MacDonald, the British Prime Minister at that time. So according to this Communal Award, Ramsay MacDonald, he has given some separate electorates to some communities in India, that is Muslims, minorities especially Muslims, next Anglo-Indians, and after that some scheduled caste, depressed classes, that is scheduled caste, as well as the Sikhs. So according to this, they have given some separate electorates, and according to this Communal Award, some 71% seats are reserved for the sake of depressed classes, that is scheduled caste, which was not liked by Gandhiji, because according to him, scheduled caste are part of Hindu community. If they give the separate electorates, they can be treated as the separate entity of Hinduism. So that's why Gandhiji did not like giving separate electorates as part of Communal Award. So here Gandhiji went on fasting. Finally that Ambedkar has welcomed this because this was the great opportunity in order to develop the depressed community in the country. But Gandhiji went on fast, and finally they have done Puna Pact between Gandhiji as well as Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. According to this pact, 18% seats were reserved for the sake of depressed classes. This was about Puna Pact as well as the Communal Award, which was done in the year of 1931. So with this we have completed our chapter 12. I think all of you understood the topic very well. Thank you.
Addod solutions. Add-on design.